Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. This is going to be your one-stop shop for everything sports-related, politics, government-related, and even some restaurant and food reviews for you. Instead of going to 3 different places, you can come here live every week to go over everything you need to know and get your pulse on everything you need to know. But why don't we jump right in with our Picks with Peter B segments. Live in studio, I have Mr. Eric Cruz and Devin Inholson. Gentlemen, how are you today?
We're doing very well, thank you.
So today we're going to present the 3 biggest matchups on the NFL schedule for Week 4, which of course began Thursday night, but we're going to be talking about 3 Sunday games. So why don't we jump right into our first game? How about those 3-0 Miami Dolphins, huh? South Beach must be partying up a storm at nighttime.
Definitely.
But they do go up to Foxborough this weekend against the 1-2 New England Patriots. And everybody knows that you really can't count the New England Patriots out anytime when you have the Brady-Belichick regime. So, Eric, why don't we start with you? Give me some analysis in your pick for this weekend's game.
Well, in my pick, I'll start off right off the bat. I'm going to go with an upset. Even though the Miami Dolphins are 3-0, I'm going to go with an upset, them heading into New England and taking this game. And the reason why I'm picking Miami is their defense, although they aren't the best statistically, they're fast. They cover well. They have good DBs. The New England Patriots have had problems throughout the week or weeks getting open and finding open receivers. Tom Brady's kind of been struggling. I think he continues to struggle, even though he'll get a little bit more traction. I think Gronkowski has a big game. I'm still going to go with Miami. I like what they do on offense, big play offense, and they're going to score against this defense. So I'm going with Miami.
I thought he was going to pick the Patriots there for a second.
Oh, that's what it kind of looked like, right?
I mean, but here's the thing, you
know him, he likes to throw curveballs all the time, right?
He always does that to me. The thing is this. I'm not sold on the Dolphins. They do this. They've done this before. They did it They did it a couple years ago when they were 3-0. They went to New Orleans and they got blown out. I think they beat the Titans in a 9-hour game. They beat the Jets. They barely held on. They didn't even score in the second half of that game. Mm-hmm. And then the Raiders. They got lucky that the Raiders are continuing to be the Raiders, put up yardage and not score. Now you got the Patriots they're doing exactly what they do. They're 1-2. They usually they start off slow, but now I think that this is a game where they're going to be able to bring the Dolphins back down to life. I think Tom Brady, going against the 29th ranked pass defense of the Dolphins, is going to be able to get the ball down the field. And the thing is this, Tom Brady doesn't even have a 300-yard passing game yet. So today, I think on Sunday, tomorrow is the time he's going to do it.
Oh, wow. So would you say that if the Dolphins do pull off the win up in Foxborough, are they for real? 4-0? We know the Rams are not 4-0.
After 4 games, you start to see what kind of team you are. So I think the Dolphins, if they win, they'll show.
And I don't care. You beat the Patriots in New England. Last time they did that was in 2008. And Chad Pennington was a quarterback. I think this team is a little bit better than that, but
Chatty P. What's Chatty P up to?
He's probably doing this. He's probably doing this right now.
He's probably doing this somewhere, right?
Somewhere.
Why don't we move on to our second game?
Okay.
We have the New Orleans Saints visiting those New York Football Giants. Now, we know the Giant fans are all giddy about beating a winless Houston Texan team last week. Of
course.
But obviously, every time Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints leave their home turf down in New Orleans, you kind of feel as if they're not the same team.
A little bit beatable.
So they're a little bit beatable. So, Eric, why don't we start with you? What's your prediction for this matchup?
I think you're right. When they do travel outside the dome, they do have issues both offensively and defensively. But I'm going to pick the Giants because of what I believe Dev believes in, the MetLife magic. I think New Orleans coming to East Rutherford, it's going to be loud, it's going to be crazy. Big win for the Giants. It kind of got the fans rejuvenated, thinking that they could make a little run at this. Saquon Barkley is going to be the difference in this game. I think if the Giants can get him going right off the bat and stay patient with that offense, they're going to put up some points. New Orleans obviously going to put up points. They can't be stopped. Let's just put it that way. So I think the Giants control the game. I think at home, they got the juice. I'm going with the Giants.
Devin?
Juice. You like the juice? I'm with it. I tried to explain to him about the MetLife magic.
We have consensus. I like it.
We do. We will agree on this because there's something about the Giants, right? Yeah. This is a big year for them coming to the year. There was high expectations, of course, because of the offense that they have. Last week, they were okay. They started to move the ball, but the Texans, their third down defense was atrocious.
Right.
Second half, they weren't as great. Okay. But I think people are sleeping on the Giants' pass defense. They're 11th in the league in pass defense. Obviously the Saints are second overall in points scored. I just think that the Giants are going to be able to contain Drew Brees just enough And their offense, going against the Saints defense, which is porous, they're going to be able to. I think the Giants are going to be able to outscore the Saints in this game. I like the Giants in this game.
Well, finally a consensus, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every now and then we agree.
Exactly. Why don't we move on to our final and third game this week? It's an AFC North battle, and I don't care what the record state.
I'm excited.
You know this is smash mouth, in-your-face football. Ravens visiting Pittsburgh. Eric, jump right in. Analysis and pick.
This is my favorite game of the week. I mean, two smash mouths, you said it best. Two teams that go after each other. There's a heated rivalry there in Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I still believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers have internal issues that are now, I guess they had a good game last week. They won the game, but I don't know. There's something about the Ravens. I feel like their defense is starting to come together. Terrell Suggs, if you really watch the Ravens, he had a great game last week against the Broncos. They won that game, and I think that they'll be able to control the running game of the Pittsburgh Steelers, put the ball in Ben's hands. He'll turn the ball over a little bit, which is what the Ravens do. They cause turnovers.
Right.
Joe Flacco, not the best in this matchup, but I think the Ravens will pull it out in a very tight game in Pittsburgh, but I have the Ravens.
You got the Ravens in this game in Pittsburgh. I'm going to disagree, naturally. The reason why is because of this. The Ravens, top 5 offense, top 5 defense, okay? So right off the bat, you feel like, okay, they're probably obviously a better team. But the Steelers, right now, I was explaining to Eric earlier, it's like the Steelers are driving on a snowy road early in the season. They have to regain the car's going off the side of the road a little bit, but then they regain their footing and now they seem like they're going in the right direction. I think the Ravens coming in, they're top 5 in defense, but really, they haven't played any offense that's been prolific other than the Bengals. Yes, they beat the Bills.
Right.
You know, Bengals were able to throw all over them. And then last week they played Case Keenum and the Broncos, and I haven't been sold on Case Keenum yet. So I think that the Steelers are just going to throw the ball down the field, make big plays. Please tell me how you're going to stop Juju Smith, Antonio Brown, Vance McDonald, and Jesse James.
You can only hope to contain them.
I don't think the running game is going to be an issue.
Interestingly, and 10 seconds because we're running out of time here, I feel that every year people just don't think the Baltimore Ravens are real.
Right.
And why is that?
Because of Joe Flacco. That's
really?
Yeah.
He's throwing like
Jersey boy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But I think I think he's rated correctly, but I believe that Joe's going to have a good game. He's going to be
They revamped their wide receiver unit this year, and it's made a difference. He's throwing the ball a lot more.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much to Mr. Eric Cruz and Devin Inholson, our NFL insiders every week here on The Pulse with Peter B. They'll be here every week breaking down the 3 top matchups on the NFL schedule. And when we come back, we're joined by none other than Mr. Josh Einstein, who's going to be our political insider. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunley Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
Welcome back to the show, and welcome to the Politics with Peter B segment. This is where we're going to discuss an issue that is government related, political related, transportation related, infrastructure related, you name it, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to try to make sense of it just for you. And we are joined in studio by Mr. Josh Sotomayor Einstein. Josh, how are you today, sir?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
You're
it's
very
an honor
welcome.
to be here.
Very, very welcome. Josh is an accomplished essayist who's published dozens of op-eds highlighting municipal, state, and national issues. Why don't we discuss today, Josh, the Washington Street redesign in Hoboken? As you know, it's on everybody's mind. Everybody that travels the main thoroughfare sees the construction going on. So it started back in 2017. It's now been postponed twice, and most recently at a council meeting in July, Councilman Michael Russo called it a mess. I mean, one word to sum it up, a mess he called it. So what gives? It's over budget, what gives?
Well, I mean, the councilman is absolutely right. Just to be clear, the completion date has been extended, and they've paved up to about halfway up to 7th and Washington Street in all this time. And so I was among the people that went when they originally proposed the Washington Street redesign, which a lot of us had.
But I'm going to interrupt you 1 second, because Mayor Bala released a statement not too long ago, probably a few months before he actually looked at what was going on in the progress of the street. And he said that the streets were going to be paved up to 9th Street. And you're right, they're paved up to 7th and a half Street, 7th Street and a half, we'll call it.
Or 6 and a half.
Or 6 and a half, correct. So it's taking so long. What's the issue?
Well, I would say from start to finish, whenever you have a government project, there's always going to be different interested parties and factors and people that are going to lowball on the time estimate and lowball on the price estimate because they know that they can take more time and that they can, extend the price and that there won't be a cost, because it's really the tragedy of the commons. When something belongs to everybody, there's a tendency for everybody to say, someone else will take care of it, or someone else will be a better watchdog. And so everybody kicks the can down the road, they pass the buck to somebody else, no one ever takes responsibility.
Speaking of responsibility, there's a lot of finger pointing that's going on. There really is. I mean, you have Councilman Michael DeFusco of the 1st Ward pointing the finger at Bala, saying, look, he's almost like an ambulance chaser when it comes to news headlines. You have the mayor saying, look, if the city council would be supportive of me, Hoboken could run much better and more efficient and things like that. So is there anybody to blame for this going on?
Well, first off, I like being friendly with everybody, even when I disagree with their politics.
Right.
And that's how we became friends. We disagree vehemently on our politics.
Exactly.
And that's okay. But that said, they're all responsible. Like I was trying to say before, I was part of the people that went down to City Hall and characterized the Washington Street redevelopment plan as the Washington Street destruction plan. Because their original vision for Washington Street was to narrow it so much so that there'd be one lane on each side, and it would be impossible for any sort of emergency services vehicles to get by if there was traffic. To extend the sidewalks, which are already very wide, and I enjoy them very much, and to make a quote-unquote protected bike lane that would have a concrete barrier on both sides of the bike lane, and that would eliminated the much needed ability of people to double park, which is technically illegal, but also required if you're going to shop on the avenue.
It's much needed. As everybody knows, my family owns a small business on Uptown Washington Street, and whenever they're getting deliveries in, it's vitally important that the delivery trucks can at least unload, and they're not staying there for hours upon hours upon hours. They're staying there for, a short amount of time while they do the delivery. It's interesting. Our former parking director, Ian Sachs, once told me that double parking in Hoboken, although illegal, it's also a way to reduce speeds on our main thoroughfare. Would you kind of agree with that statement? I mean,
I would. I think it's a common sense statement, and I think one of the problems is when people get into government, when they get elected, their connection to common sense becomes somewhat severed. Everyone goes with this vision of what they're going to do, and they also have in their head, because they're normal people, what they really, really want.
Right.
And after a certain amount of time in office, the part of the brain that says what I really, really want and what I'm going to do gets switched, and they confuse their personal ideal with what the reality is and what people actually need, and that's problematic. But what's also problematic is the fact that many of these people that are currently in Hoboken City Hall were there when they ripped up Washington Street years before.
To do the electrical wires, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, should have they paved at that time? Because paving could last up to 10 years, and I believe that was 2011, and it's already almost 2019 now, and it would have been 10 years. Should have they repaved then when they changed the electrical lines, and then did it again to replace the water lines and pave again?
See, the problem there is they didn't have, well, I'll deal with funding in a second because that's not actually a problem. But the problem is that they didn't feel that they had the political capital to push through their initial Washington Street destruction plan, what's become a okay redesign with a horrible implementation that's taking way too long. But when it comes to funding, they can use that as an excuse. But these same people in City Hall always find a magical way to fund something that they want. For example, they're now funding public art. I like public art. I don't like public art that's paid for by the tax dollar. All right, they're pushing the mythology that it's not coming from taxpayer money because it's attached to the bonds. Who's going to be paying the interest on those bonds? The taxpayer. And
it's kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, it's just saying you don't have to pay for it now and pretending you don't have to pay for it later. But they were able to find a way to fund that, which is a want, not a need, whereas Washington Street was in need of having the pipes underneath it fixed for a long time, and because they felt they didn't have the political capital to get the redesign that they wanted, they kicked the can down the road.
As usual, as usual. And just finally, because we're running out of time here, it's so interesting. If you go up to Union City, where Mayor and State Senator Brian Stack has been the head of that city for a number of years now, obviously, I feel like things are being done much, much quicker. I mean, why is it in Hoboken? Is it because of dysfunctional government? Is it just because of egos? Why is it in Hoboken that it just takes so long for a street to be paved, essentially? I know it's a redesign with water mains and corners and things like that. A quick answer, please.
I think, A, there are no quick answers. B,
very true about that, especially coming from you.
Every city has its issues. But I would rather live in a city where there is a healthy opposition and a very minuscule machine politics than live in Union City where it's ruled by a political boss who does keep the trains running on time, so to speak, but still is a political power and has no opposition.
And no opposition. Well, I guess you mean checks and balances. And what's good about Hoboken is there's always something interesting going on. I want to thank Mr. Josh Einstein for coming in our studio. He'll be here every week tackling an issue and trying to figure it out. We'll be back.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments, see emergency room wait times, and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Pen & Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen & Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. And for our final segment of our show, we kind of want to end on something a little fun and entertaining and so on and so forth. And we want to welcome Miss Mai Rana of mygoodies.com. Mai, how are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Fantastic is better than good, so I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Now, you consider yourself a foodie, and you also consider yourself born and raised in downtown Jersey City. And before we get into your review for this week, I mean, that's almost like a rarity. I'm born and raised in Hoboken, and people notice it right away when I'm just speaking because of my North New Jersey accents. It's a rarity in downtown Jersey City to be born and raised. I'm sure you're very happy to be from there, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, that area right now is booming in terms of everyone coming to live there, people moving there, businesses opening up, and just to see the transformation from Jersey City when I was growing up, when there was completely nothing, you couldn't even walk around.
Couldn't even walk around.
Right. So just to see it developed, that whole street and Newark Avenue is amazing. You always see a lot of people coming around. So for me, growing up there, it's nice to see that it's changed for the better.
That's great. That is great. And also what has changed down there are the restaurants. Is that correct? I mean, the restaurant scene is booming down there. And I know you went over to Razza, which, by the way, is located at 275 Grove Street, right across the street from City Hall in Jersey City, downtown Jersey City.
Yes.
And it's another pizza place, I feel like. You know, I feel like that's kind of like a new trend of businesses opening up. Years ago in Hoboken, we had like nail salons and dry cleaners opening up. So what makes Razza unique and different in your opinion?
Well, Razza, right? So you think of pizza, right?
I'm Italian, Razza, you're right.
You don't pronounce it pizza, right? So Razza is a beautiful restaurant, like you said, in downtown Jersey City that offers a different approach on pizza, right? Their menu is super simple. It's not anything complicated, and you can go there for drinks after work. You can enjoy it whether you're from the area or you can take the train over from New York City. Right. So they have really great ingredients in their pizzas, a lot of locally sourced. They have ingredients from Rutgers University that kind of stuck out for me when I was researching the menu.
That's awesome.
Yes.
How great is that? Yeah.
Right. So you're sourcing locally from different restaurants, and then you're also just basically having the same fine dining experience that you would have in the West Village in New York City, but for the New Jersey residents, don't have to go too far.
That's fantastic. So, I did my little research here since it is kind of my show.
Yeah.
And, I looked on their website, and what Razza, Bella, what Razza likes to describe itself as is basically an intimate pizzeria featuring artisan wood fire pies and a bar with cocktails and Italian craft beer. And we all know Italians just do it right. So, you think that's true or false, that statement?
I think it's absolutely true. If you've ever walked past it or even tried to get a seat there, it is always packed. On a Monday night, Saturday night, whenever, because of the business hours, it's always difficult to get a seat there, and there's no reservations.
Interesting. So what did you have? I mean, what did you have to eat, and how does it compare to other pizzerias in that genre? Because, there's one thing that you go get a slice over at, your traditional pizzeria, but this, the openings of these pizzerias are more sit down. Right. They're, more, I wouldn't say more elegant, but more business casual, as I would like to call it. So what did you have?
Absolutely. Well, this one is more like family style. So they have your personal pies that you can share. It's nothing too scaled too big where you would feel full or you would take something home. But I had the maple bacon pizza.
Maple bacon pizza. Describe, please.
So I'm a sweet savory type of girl. I like to challenge my taste buds and try to step outside my comfort zone. So it has exactly what's on there, right? So you have your sliced onions, your mozzarella, you have your bacon on there, and then it's topped off with New York maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Yeah. So I'm guessing they didn't put tomato sauce on there, did they?
There's nothing like that sort. So this is kind of like a specialty pizza.
It is a special. And I have to tell you, people in Italy, my relatives over there will say, oh, that's a not a pizza. You know, what is that? I mean, they'll say, you know, take that stuff out of here, that Americanized pie. But I think that that's what really this area is looking for, something different. Like I said, you know, you want your regular slice, you go to a regular pizzeria, but this is definitely absolutely something different. Now, I'm guessing they have other things, not
Absolutely.
just...
So one of the must-tries when you go there is, ironically, bread and butter.
No.
Yes, so you don't think about getting bread.
Butter?
Yes.
Wow.
Homemade bread and butter made in the same wood-fired oven that the pizza's made in. And everything is kind of like, the owner, who is Dan Richer, he mastered the fundamentals of making this bread and butter, that it's not complimentary, you have to order it. So it's about $4, so you have to order it, and it's a must try. Every single review, Yelp, is mentioned on there, and it's just this nice, delicate bread that's kind of rustic on the outside, but still like really, really delicious. And the butter is sourced from like a locally, like a local farm in Pennsylvania, and everything is made in-house.
So that's really how you know that a food type of place is doing something right, when the bread and the butter are up to par. I'm guessing pasta, salads, do they have any of that type of?
They have some like small plates, no pasta. So like I said, the menu is not complicated. You order your pizza, your drinks, and then your little small, you know, appetizer to start with.
And did you order that little small appetizer? Was that the bread and the butter?
Bread and butter,
Gotcha, gotcha. I didn't know. I thought that might have been complimentary, but then you said it's $4.
No.
So, I mean, trust me, when they're making butter for real, I'm sure it's, or the right way, I should say, not for real. It's probably worth the $4. So operating hours are a little short. It's open 5:30 to 10 p.m. every day except for Sunday. And again, this is the fourth time I'm saying this, but as an Italian, you know, we know that Sunday's kind of your rest day, where we watch the NFL and we judge Devin and Eric on their picks and things like that, which they were on a little bit earlier today. I'm guessing reservations are a must.
So reservations actually don't exist there. It's on a first come, first serve. Yep.
So what would you say? So, I mean, what is the perfect time to go there? Is it like 5:15, 5:20?
I mean, I think around that time is probably the best to maybe put your name down or, you know, get a seat right away. If you are going with a large group, the earlier the better. But if you're going just like 2 people, maybe 2 or 3 people, then you're okay to get there maybe not around peak hours, like around 6:37, but probably around 6.
And probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the busiest days there.
Absolutely.
So get in there on a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday. Leave work early. Tell your boss that you watched My Goodies review Razza Pizzeria over in Jersey City. And just one final question, because we have a little bit of time left here. Just one final question. Do you feel like it compares to any type of other pizzeria in the neighborhood, or?
Well, actually, if you within walking distance, you have a couple ones. You have your traditional Helen's Pizza.
Nice.
You have 2 Boots. That's like kind of like your specialty pizza as well. And then you have Porter right around the corner.
And Porter right around the corner.
So depending on what kind of environment you want to be in, those are all really great places to go to depending on what you're looking for, but I think Razza is a better environment if you're looking for more intimate quality pizza that kind of challenges your taste buds.
That just made us all hungry in the studio. I think we're going to maybe take a to-go order right away off the phone. That's Razza Pizzeria, located at 275 Grove Street, across the street from City Hall. And Mai, thank you for joining us. Her website is maigoodies.com. Everybody visit it. She has more reviews on there, or you can just come back here and hear her reviews. Whatever you want to do. You don't like to read, you could watch her. I want to thank everyone for joining us on the Pulse with Peter B. We'll be back every week here for your sports, politics, food picks. Stay tuned for next week's show to get your pulse on everything you need to know.